Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a heated development that unfolded in Clairwood, Durban, where members of the Umkhonto we Sizwe Party, widely known as the MK Party, stormed into the area demanding action against companies allegedly hiring illegal immigrants. This protest has stirred up strong emotions, raised tough questions about employment and immigration policies in South Africa, and sparked debate about whether companies are doing enough to prioritize local workers. Stay with me until the end of this news update, because I'll be sharing the sources so you can verify for yourself and get a full picture of what really happened. Before we get into the details, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit that notification bell so you never miss updates like this. This is where we unpack South African news with clarity, balance, and a touch of context so you can better understand what's happening around you. Now, let's talk about Clarewood. The area has long been associated with industrial activities, transport companies, and warehouse hubs. Because of that, it has also become a hotspot for labor disputes. On this particular day, the MK Party arrived in significant numbers, marching through the area, chanting, and demanding that companies hiring undocumented foreign nationals stop immediately. Their main argument is that many South Africans remain unemployed while businesses, in their view, cut corners by hiring foreigners who may accept lower wages. Protesters reportedly confronted managers at some warehouses and transport companies, calling for immediate changes. According to those who were present, the demonstration created tense scenes, with local police monitoring the situation closely to prevent it from escalating into violence. Although no major clashes were reported, there was visible anger among the protesters, and the atmosphere was anything but calm. The MK Party has been vocal about its stance on immigration, particularly on the issue of jobs. They believe South Africans are being sidelined, and that illegal immigration plays a key role in the country's high unemployment rate. The Clarewood protest was framed as a push to send a clear message to businesses: put South Africans first when it comes to employment. However, this issue is not as simple as it sounds. Labor experts have pointed out that companies often rely on foreign workers for jobs that many locals may not be willing to take under current conditions. Others argue that undocumented immigrants are vulnerable to exploitation, making it cheaper for companies to hire them instead of complying with proper labor laws and contracts. This creates a cycle where desperate foreigners accept tough conditions, companies save costs, and unemployed locals feel left out. Community members in Clarewood were divided about the protest. Some residents said they supported the MK Party's action, insisting that the government and companies have failed to prioritize locals. One woman interviewed outside a warehouse said that her son had been job hunting for 2 years without luck, while she believed foreign nationals in the area were working in those very warehouses. On the other hand, there were also voices of concern, with some fearing that targeting immigrants could stoke division and xenophobia, leading to dangerous consequences. Government officials have not released a full statement on the Clarewood protest yet, but this comes at a time when immigration policy is already under intense scrutiny in South Africa. The Department of Home Affairs has been under pressure for years to tighten border controls and properly regulate work permits. With unemployment hovering around 32%, the debate over jobs and immigration is only intensifying. The protest also highlights a larger political strategy by the MK Party. Since emerging onto the national stage, they have positioned themselves as defenders of ordinary South Africans, particularly in relation to jobs, economic opportunities, and social stability. By taking their protest directly to Clarewood, they're not only confronting businesses but also showing their supporters that they're willing to act, not just talk. It's worth noting, though, that critics have accused the party of using these demonstrations to score political points rather than to find lasting solutions. At the heart of this situation is the question of fairness. Should companies be punished for hiring undocumented workers? Should the government crack down harder on illegal immigration, or should it focus more on regulating labor markets and protecting all workers, regardless of nationality? These are not easy questions, and they don't have quick answers, but they are questions that South Africa cannot ignore. From a social perspective, this kind of protest reflects the frustrations that many communities feel. South Africans who are struggling with unemployment, rising living costs, and limited opportunities often look at foreign nationals as competition. Yet, foreign nationals, particularly those undocumented, often find themselves working under unsafe, unfair, and poorly paid conditions. It creates a lose-lose situation. Locals feel excluded, while immigrants are exploited. Now, when you listen to ordinary people, you hear the depth of these frustrations. A taxi driver interviewed during the protest said that while he doesn't hate foreign nationals, he does feel that companies are unfairly benefiting at the expense of South Africans. He argued that if all businesses followed proper labor laws, there would be more opportunities for everyone. That's the kind of sentiment that fuels movements like the one we saw in Clarewood. Of course, protests like this also carry risks. If not managed properly, they can spiral into violence or even spark wider unrest. South Africa has seen this before, where tensions around jobs and immigration have led to xenophobic attacks in parts of the country. Authorities will have to tread carefully to ensure this latest protest does not ignite further tensions. This event is also a reminder that unemployment in South Africa remains one of the country's biggest challenges. With so many people looking for work, even small disputes over jobs can quickly escalate into bigger political battles. For companies, the pressure is now on to show that they are complying with labor regulations and not cutting corners by hiring undocumented workers. As South Africans, we often find ourselves caught between frustration and hope. Frustration at the lack of jobs and opportunities, and hope that the government and leaders will eventually come up with solutions that work. Whether the MK Party's actions in Clarewood will push things in the right direction remains to be seen, but it certainly put the issue back in the spotlight. Before we wrap up, let's lighten the mood a little. You know, in South Africa, we say we are a rainbow nation, but when it comes to politics and protests, it sometimes feels like we're living in a thunderstorm. Maybe the rainbow is still there, just hiding behind the clouds. Or perhaps it's waiting for Eskom to turn the lights back on before it shines again. Thank you for watching and for being part of this discussion. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you can stay updated with all our future news updates. And remember, watch till the end so you can see the sources and verify this news for yourself. All images used are for illustration purposes only. Sources: Times Live, IOL News, Daily Maverick, News 24.